Hi, I'm Darren, and welcome to New Factory Classics. Today we're going to break down Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, part 2 of my DCEU breakdown. Now, Bruce Wayne lost his parents while he was young during a mugging that went wrong. He grows up to be a billionaire like our billionaires in real life, except instead of being focused on app domination, he's focused on justice. Flash forward to him being an adult and arriving at Metropolis during the end of the Man of Steel movie, when General Zod and Superman are battling it out and utterly destroying the city. And when Bruce Wayne arrives, he finds that Wayne Tower is being destroyed by the two men that are fighting. And he sees these two gods and he realizes that they can't be allowed to be on Earth. It's been 18 months now since the Battle of Man of Steel, and kryptonite has been found in the wreckage of the Indian Ocean world harvesting machine. The government is putting Superman on trial with all the damage they did in the battle at Metropolis and people that are dying from different events that he is involved in. The world is seeing if a Superman can live amongst them. It's possible that General Zod and Papa Kent were correct, that he is a god amongst men and men can't enjoy that. We get a scene of how the Batman functions in this universe. In the Dark Knight trilogy, he may have been a reluctant hero, but our Bruce Wayne in this universe is tortured, depressed, constantly having nightmares, and even brands his people that he captures. Superman is now living an adult life as Clark Kent, and he moved in with Lois. And they're having to navigate the fact of everything that he had destroyed a few years earlier and just normal day-to-day life of working at the Daily Planet. And we get a scene where they make love in a bathtub, but let me just tell you, that's not the scene of Henry Cavill that you want in a bathtub. So here it is. In this universe, Alfred is an electrical engineer and he designs all of Batman's gear. We don't actually get enough time to introduce actual Batman characters from the Batverse, so Alfred has to take up multiple people's characters in this movie. Alfred tells Bruce a parable about evil gods and how they destroy men. Bruce may have already been thinking about going after Superman, but for some reason Alfred's really encouraging this. Jesse Eisenberg continues his social network portrayal of Mark Zuckerberg in that he turns himself into Lex Luthor, but Lex Luthor with hair. He's a billionaire genius that, unlike our billionaires, he wants to run the world. He figured out that kryptonite can hurt Superman, so he's trying to get the Senate to allow him to import a bunch of kryptonite into the United States. Bruce has continuous nightmares throughout this film, imagining Superman taking over the planet and actively killing everyone. Bruce is at all times drinking, depressed, and not sleeping. This is definitely someone that you want to make major decisions and fight crime with. Bruce and Clark both end up at a party that is being thrown by Lex, and they run into a mysterious woman named Diana. She's very beautiful, a very wonderful woman. Bruce steals a bunch of information from Lex Luthor's hard drive, but then he realizes that Diana actually stole it from him. Bruce gets the encrypted files back from Diana after tracking her down and plugs them into his supercomputer. He then takes a nap and goes on to have a 4 to 5 minute nightmare of a whole bunch of bugs and Superman taking over the planet. When he wakes up, he has a sub-nightmare with the Flash coming to scream at him, which is very confusing. He does end up waking up to having the drive fully decrypted. Bruce learns of Lex's plan to import the kryptonite, and he plans on stealing that himself in order to be able to kill Superman. Superman, on the other hand, is investigating Bruce and realizes the type of justice that he's been given. Basically, branding, beating, and doing whatever he wants, ignoring the law. These two Goliaths are on a road to fighting each other. It's almost going to be Batman versus Superman? Oh. While Batman is trying to steal the kryptonite from Lex's team, his car gets totally smashed and destroyed by Superman, who basically tells him to get out of town and stop being a vigilante. Then he flies away. Batman looks up at the sky and says, "Tell me, do you bleed? You will." It's finally discovered that Lex Luthor has been setting up a lot of the different crimes that have been pinned on Superman. He hasn't actually killed anyone other than, well, probably Zod. The next step in Lex's plan is to blow up a Senate subcommittee where Superman is on trial. This is the worst atrocity that's happened to this planet since when Superman first visited Metropolis. Here's DCEU movie 2 out of 2 that's using Zod as the villain, despite his notable disability of being dead. But that doesn't stop Lex from taking his blood, putting it into Zod's blood, and putting him into the machine from Man of Steel to create some sort of atrocity, some sort of abomination. It is Doomsday. Batman, fooled by all the tricks that Lex has pulled over him, has decided that he needs to kill Superman. And so he sets up. And it brings up the old equation: can Batman beat anyone with enough prep time? To raise the stakes, Lex kidnaps Clark's mom and girlfriend. It's always a good call to hit a space god below the belt. Batman attempts to stack the deck in his favor, so he attempts to recruit Wonder Woman to fight along his side. He even shows her information on all the other metahumans, which will eventually become the Justice League. 2 hours into this movie, and it looks like we may actually have a fight. A fight in the movie called Batman v Superman, which is actually annoying. I'm not here for the combat. I'm here for more scenes of Senate subcommittee argument. Superman utterly destroys Batman at the beginning of their fight, but he learns not to play with his food when Batman pulls out all the stops and starts poisoning him with kryptonite bombs. Batman prepares to kill Superman. He takes the kryptonite spear and is about to stab him through the chest when Superman begs him to save Martha. What? Martha, he says. Martha's my mother's name. DC Comics had 2 major characters 85 years ago, and both of them had the same name, Mom, of Martha. Lois, in this brief pause, explains to Bruce why he shouldn't kill Superman. He's been manipulated by Lex. But that's not the main reason why he stopped. He stopped not because he didn't want to kill the evil space god, but because his mom had the same name. They may have stopped fighting each other, but Lex has one final trick up his sleeve. It's Doomsday! Haven't we seen this guy before? During the fight between Superman and Doomsday, they fly into space, and the US military shoots them with a nuke. This ends up knocking out Superman, and Doomsday falls to Earth, but gets much, much stronger. I wish we were warned about the nukes. We are officially 6 years into this movie, and Wonder Woman finally shows up to fight. And thus she does, right alongside of Bruce, and they get their butts kicked because Doomsday's only getting stronger every time you hit him. Batman and Wonder Woman finally stun Doomsday just long enough to where Clark can grab the kryptonite spear and fly straight into him, stabbing and killing him. They win, but Clark dies. The world mourns the death of Superman, and his friends and family mourn the death of Clark. The world has lost its god from space. What horrors will come for this planet now that its leader, its hero from space has died? Or is this just the dawn of justice? And now I've seen it, so you don't have to. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much.